in case you wonder, we're in. Mr. Carter has finally joined us. Devin Carter made his debut, and can I just say, I got to double check the minutes that he played, but initially, I know on Friday, we had a lot of conversation about how much time he would play on Friday, with it being his pops in town. He was coming off a back-to-back. He played 10 minutes, nearly 11 minutes. So it was legit. It was all legit. He did not score on Friday. He took 3 shots, 5 rebounds in less than 11 minutes. He had 2 assists as well, more minutes than what Kyle and I expected. He was a rebounding machine, which was part of the scouting report. I know we saw him do it. I think Providence is in the Big East now. I can't keep up with these conferences. So we saw him do it at the college level, and he ran a couple DHOs with Sabonis early on. The Sunday game, that is where we saw more of Devin Carter. He played 23 minutes, had some time on Steph Curry, 13 points, 4 of 11 from the field, 2 of 7 from three-point range, 7 rebounds again. So just a rebounding machine, 1 steal, 2 assists. He baited Kyle Anderson on a foul from 3 on a pump fake. And yeah, as a rebounding guard, he is just a baller. So it looks like Carter, Keon, Herter, Lyles, and Len have established themselves as the bench unit until a trade takes place. And if we're giving Devin Carter a grade, Kyle's dealing with the phone lines right now. If we're giving Devin Carter a grade, a lot of people are really high. We had somebody call in earlier, I believe that was Mark, say that Devin Carter, kind of leaning towards the untouchable thing. So we're going to talk about whether or not he should be untouchable or not. But a grade in his first 2 games, Kyle, I just think I'm going a straight up B. Maybe I'm being a tough grader, but I think I'm giving him a B. I think a B is kind of what I expected. And if you want to get to the B minus, A minus, or B plus, A minus, I would have wanted to be surprised by something I saw. I don't know that I was surprised. I was glad that he was as advertised, I'd say, but he wasn't, I wouldn't say better than advertised. So a solid B for me, an 85. That is, hey, I'll run home and tell my parents I got an 85. That's a 3.0. That's good. That's pretty darn good. I'm giving him a B.
I guess I would say he finished above expectations for me, because all I was hearing all summer was this draft class was no good, and the Devin Carter was the 13 pick coming off of injury, and we shouldn't expect much from him this year. And it looks like Devin Carter, Keon Ellis, Kevin Herter, Trey Lyles, some Alex Len, that's going to be their 10 off the bench until either a trade gets made or until further notice. Like, he is going to be a rotation player almost immediately. So in that sense, I would say above expectation. I also wasn't expecting the Kevin O'Connors and the Mark Steins and Jonathan Gavonis to come out of the woodwork and be like, oh yeah, this guy should have been a top 5 pick in the draft last year, but injuries is the reason he fell. I was like, great, awesome. That adds value in a place I didn't expect. So yeah, I would say above expectations for sure. I know he didn't score all that much, but the rebounding was excellent. He baited Kyle Anderson on a foul, on a pump fake, got 3 free throws out of it. Like, as good as above expectations, better than I expected. I didn't think we'd see basically 34 minutes of Devin Carter in 2 blowout victories for the Kings.
Yeah, I said 85. I'll raise it to an 86, and I could probably be talked into an 87 for a B+.
Oh, well, at this point, we got to just give him an A.
No, well, I'm not doing that, because that would have been, again, I don't even know what that would have been, but just from my initial thought, a strong B. I'll give him an 86, and you can talk me into a B+.
I'm just doing the high school kid of, we're this close. Can't we get it up to a 89.5 is all you need. You don't even need a 90. You just need an 89.5.
To start the arguing, I just got to keep my GPA above 2.0, but Devin Carter was well above that, and so much so that Mark Stein had this to say. This came out a couple days ago. Sources also confirmed to the Stein line that the Kings have indeed held trade talks with the Nets regarding Cam Johnson again. Can I say I'm kind of getting tired of this a little bit. Just either you know what or get off the pot. I just want it to happen or just move on with it. But anyway, continuing with the quote, but I'm told that the prize rookie Devin Carter to this point has not been included in any of the team's discussions. The Kings value Carter highly and excitedly watched the 22-year-old make his NBA debut Friday against the visiting Memphis Grizzlies with his father, Grizzlies assistant coach Anthony Carter, on the opposing bench. So it sounds now again, what's interesting is that this doesn't mean that Devin Carter is untouchable. This means that the Kings don't want to move Devin Carter in a Cam Johnson deal. And that is what we talked about on Friday, because there were the Kevin O'Connors of the world also said they wouldn't do it. Kevin O'Connor felt like Cam Johnson's being a little bit overvalued, and Kevin O'Connor was asked by a Kings fan. So his Twitter does work. He just doesn't respond to my DMs, but he was asked by a Kings fan, would you include Devin Carter to get a Cam Johnson deal done? He said no. I think he said he wouldn't even do it for a 2 firsts, whatever it was. So he agreed with the Kings front office that Devin Carter shouldn't be a part of the Cam Johnson deal. That doesn't mean that Devin Carter is untouchable, but that means that they don't think that they want to move off of Devin Carter for the Cam Johnson deal. From what I've seen, Kyle, I gave him a strong B. I could be talked into a B+. I need to see more. I don't know, man. It's hard for me, and maybe the Cam Johnson thing specifically that I'm okay with, but if there's any talk of Devin Carter being untouchable, I'm still struggling with that a little bit.
Okay, well, let me ask you this question, because I tend to agree once a player is drafted, the value shouldn't go down. You should still value him like the 13th pick in last year's draft. So therefore, I understand not trading a lottery pick and more to get Cam Johnson. I don't think the Spurs gave up, or the Raptors gave up a top 10 pick for Jakob Poeltl, and I think they kind of regret doing that. So I don't think Cam Johnson is that much better. I guess my question would be, what is preventing you, beyond just the small sample size, what is preventing you from getting us up to that 89.5% or that B+ territory? Like, what is it that is that blockade between 86% and 89%?
I mean, it's not much. I just think that offensively, if people that are saying to move off of De'Aaron Fox, okay, and we just talked to a caller who said they would want to do that. You still need to have scoring, playmaking guards. I think Devin Carter is a bit of a playmaker, but and I'm not saying to move off of De'Aaron. I don't want to move off of De'Aaron Fox, but you're talking about a team that would have Keon Ellis, who's not a crazy playmaker, Malik Monk, who is an incredible playmaker, and now Devin Carter, who I haven't seen enough. But if you're talking specifically for what he just did over the weekend, I'm not going to fight over a couple percentage points here. I'll give him a B+. That's fine.
There we go.
It's not good enough. It's still not good enough for me to make him untouchable. I think anybody who's saying Devin Carter is untouchable is just kind of doing the fan. And you know what's funny? I'm going to say doing the fan thing where it seems like the front office is making him untouchable. But I also think they're doing the fan thing to where he's already being maybe a smidge overvalued. And it ultimately comes down to, what is it that you want, Sacramento? It's the same thing we asked with the Warriors as they got the brakes beat off them. What is it that Sacramento wants? Do you want to is there a world where the Kings keep De'Aaron Fox, keep all their young talents and compete at a high level? I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if they can do all of that. I think you keep De'Aaron Fox, but you make some moves that require the Kings to move off of young talent, or you move off of De'Aaron Fox and you focus on the young potential and you get other pieces. I just don't know there's a world where you can do all of the things it seems like the Kings want to do. And if I'm choosing De'Aaron Fox over Devin Carter. I know it's not that simple, but that's what I'm doing. And I'm not saying you have to, but right now the Kings feel like they're trying to do everything. And you know what? How the saying goes, jack of all trades, master of none. Let's get back to the phone lines. We got some of our favorites on the line when we return. Allen Stiles, Sactown Sports.